song number 8, excuse me, song number 8 is called Slip Away, and it's a more subdued song. It starts with guitar, and then the keys come in a little bit, and then Garrett starts singing, and, you know, like, it's good, but it's, the star of the song is Julian, okay, even though he's not, no offense, Garrett. Julian is on the keys, and that's great, but he also, did you know, plays a mean saxophone.
Oh, my God.
And to listen to him live, and, like, to watch him live was, like...
I want you to think of the best saxophone player you know or can name, and I want you to think about... I want you to make them better. Like, Julian's tone and Julian's articulations are so pure and so professional.
It's just like his voice. It's like his voice is coming through the saxophone.
Yeah, no,
it is.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. I was like screaming my head off. He'll play one note on the saxophone, and I was like, yes! One note that's all it takes for me to be excited about you playing the saxophone. One note.
The thing about Slip Away, though, is it's much less musically complicated than the previous 7 songs that we've talked about. It's probably the most simple song on the album, but that in no way makes it a bad song. It makes it much easier to listen to, much easier to enjoy, because you're not trying to pick apart everything that's going on. You're just, you're trying to listen to everything in the way that it's supposed to be listened to. You're just trying to make sure that, you get the saxophone in there, you get the guitars, you get the nice riffs, you get the really calming vocals. Like, it's a really easy listening song, and I that's what I like about it.
I like the saxophone, like I said, so yeah, that's good.
Well, if I capsize when it's alright, 'cause I don't mind, no, I don't mind having to wait in the water, oh, whoa, under a night sky, I'll be alright. In the storms, I know I don't mind having to swim. Don't tomorrow, whoa, oh, oh.
So track 9 is Capsize, the other single on this album. Capsize is much, much more complicated in terms of musical imagery. So what I like about Capsize is Capsize creates this image of water and floating and, just kind of laying there, enjoying the sun on a beach, or enjoying as like sitting in a canoe or whatever, and enjoying as the waves kind of like rock you about, that kind of stuff. And I really like how that happens. The actual subject matter of the lyrics is a different thing. It's kind of like, basically like keeping your head above, making sure you're keeping your head above water, and making sure you're doing everything that you're supposed to before you get overwhelmed and capsize.
Sounds like my life.
I mean, we're young college students. How uncommon is that? But, I mean, like, I really like how they use the music and how they use every single instrument to kind of give that idea that, they're just kind of floating along and hoping that, everything is going right with their lives and with their careers and with how they play the music and how they're doing the music and all that good stuff.
Disguise to hide what was wrong. Waste time to cover what was lost. White lies still trying to fight it off. And I'm on the edge right now. Long way to fall, but who else could hold these down? No time.
Track number 10 is called On the Edge. So it starts off as another song in a weird time signature. It starts off in 7, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's what it starts off as. And then when it gets to the chorus, it goes to just being a regular 4. And it kind of stays there for the rest of the song. It doesn't really go back to 7 for some reason. We don't really know why, but that's just what it does.
Or it does, and we just didn't notice.
Yeah.
But again, like, big props to Alex on this one, like, because all of these weird time signatures are not easy. like especially as a drummer and especially as a rhythm player.
It's easy to get lost.
Because you have to really know like where your major subdivisions are, like where are your major beats, like especially with the eights, where I was saying it's two groups of three and a group of two, because it's big beat, it's big beat, big beat, big beat, big beat, big beat, big beat. Whereas this one, it's big beat, big beat, big beat, big beat. So it's like you really got to know where your hits are, and you've got to know where you're going with them. So
because if you hit it wrong, you throw off everything.
No, that's definitely. And getting lost in a song in a weird time signature like 7 or 8 or 9.
You gotta start over.
Oh my god, it's awful. And like especially if it's counted in that weird way. Like if you get off, you're not getting back on until you literally find your next big entrance. So big props to all 4 of them for really being able to feel these weird time signatures and being able to really put them onto the stage and into the studio.
And this is another Julian song, so props to him for the cool vocals again. And one thing that I really like is in the chorus, there is, I don't know exactly how to like pinpoint exactly where it is, but if you know music and you know contrary motion, there's like contrary motion between his voice and is it the guitar?
I think it's the bass, yeah. I'll have to listen to it again, but there is contrary motion between one of the rhythm instruments and Julian's voice.
Basically, in terms of solfege, Julian's singing do, re, and the instrument is doing do, ti, so together it sounds like...
We're not doing it. My voice is not 100%. We're not doing that today.
Your voice is supposed to be 100% at all times.
Nope.
So together it sounds like...
You're moving away from home to go right back. So it's really nice motion.
It's my favorite part of the song, the chorus.
So track 11, the third to last track, is called The Noise. Now, The Noise is much more politically charged than basically the rest of the album combined. So imagine you're living in an authoritarian regime, and then you've got, some sort of resistance, some sort of, rebel fighters, whatever, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to make everyone finally stand up, make their voices heard, like actually make some noise in the country, in the world, in society, to let the government know that they don't really have control over us anymore. And I think that's what this song is really trying to get at, is especially in today's social political, standing, that, we have a lot of people whose voices aren't getting heard, whether by their representatives or just in general. We've got a lot of hive mind thinking going on, especially in social media. So it's like this song is really about taking your voice and having it be heard and having it be known that you feel the way you do, instead of just, saying, oh no, I agree with that guy. So yeah, it's much more politically charged in that way. And I really like the way they do it, because the actual effects that they put on the music, and especially Garrett's voice, it really helps you feel like, you're listening to someone standing on top of a bus with a megaphone or something. Like, just making...
That's so specific.
I mean, am I wrong? Like, can you not hear that?
But, I just was not thinking bus. I was thinking podium like anybody else would think.
I mean, whatever. When you hear that filter, really brings you into the, we're rebels, and we're not gonna take it anymore. We want to be known. We don't like the way that you're running this place. Politics. It's always fun.
Crawl down from that high horse and just speak to me. Look look me in the eyes and tell me truthfully, are you ever gonna trust me in my honesty? Or am I just shouting idly at the void?
The penultimate song on the album is called High Horse. Now, High Horse is another really cool song. It's another strange time signature. It's in 5 this time. The character of the song is speaking to someone who basically thinks they're better than everybody else. You know, the opening line is literally, crawl down from that high horse and just speak to me. Stop being full of yourself. Just talk to me. Stop being someone who thinks that they're above everyone or thinks that they're someone that should be revered, and just be a normal person.
And we were talking about how this song kind of plays on their older sound.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this album, like we said earlier, is like sound that we've not heard from them before.
Mm-hmm.
But this song brings back some of their older sound, which is not bad. It's like a throwback, like, hey, like, we're still ourselves kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it kind of takes back to one of their older albums called Antics, which, you know, has songs like Black House or like Carried Away, which are much more stripped down songs. They're much more calm and collected, and the way this song goes on, like, everything builds on itself, and you don't really get, you know, the big everybody's in until, you know, half to 2/3 of the way through the song. Most of the first half of the song is just Garrett, the keys, and the drums. Josh comes in like a minute later or something, and it's like it all works really well.
Oh, how will I know when to catalyze?
the last song on this album is the eponymous song of the album. It is called Catalyze, like the name of the album. And it starts off with the acoustic guitar, with Garrett playing the acoustic... right, Garrett?
Yeah, Garrett.
Garrett playing the acoustic guitar, and then he comes in singing. And it's a fusion between their old sound, again, and their new sound, which is interesting because of what the word catalyze means.
Mm-hmm. So, like, if you are a catalyst, or if you are, you know, catalyzing something, you are causing something to change, or you are changing yourself. The biggest thing that I'm getting out of Catalyze as an album is, while their sound has changed a little bit, like they've gone from much more stripped down indie sound to a more hard rock sound, to more, like, you know, much more power chords, much more emotional sound, much more vocality in their political and socioeconomic beliefs and biases. And I think to have like the final song, the eponymous song on an album, epitomize all of that in a very stripped down, almost old sound song, I think that really sums up their personality as a band and as a stage act almost perfectly.
And it's just a nice, calm way to end an album.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the first song, which was like, hey, bip, we're here.
Wakes you up out of that dream, and then we're gonna settle you back in.
Yeah, so that's this album, Catalyze, from start to finish. We hope you take a listen. We sincerely do, because it's a really good album if you like indie, so to speak, or alternative, or whatever you want to classify them as. And they're a great group of guys, and you should really check them out.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, no, like, let's put it this way. There's no way that nobody in this relationship does not benefit. They get more views, they get more listens, and who knows, they might even come to where you guys are. I know, like we're from Baltimore, and I know they've had a very hard time with coming down to Baltimore. Like, they've usually stayed up in the north and up in the northeast, up and around New England. The furthest south they've come so far has basically been Philly. So I know, like, the more other people listen to them around the country, the
further they'll be able to go.
Yeah, the higher chance that they'll be able to come out to wherever you guys are. So give them a listen. Give them a few listens. Give them a few, give them your money. Like, and I mean, they're all over social media. They've got Instagram. I think they've got Twitter. They've got Facebook.
Twitter? I'm not sure if they have Twitter.
Do they not have Twitter? Maybe they don't have Twitter. They can probably tell us.
They've got Facebook. They've got a YouTube for their music videos. They've got Instagram, which they're very active on. They will interact with you on there.
They will. Absolutely, they will.
They interact with me all the time.
Yeah. And that's actually how they asked us to do this, because they saw one of our videos. I think was it the first or second video? Whatever. They saw one of our videos and they asked us, because like we've had really great conversations with them before. They asked us to personally do this album review for you guys. So, just talk to them, ask them what's up, like
ask them things about this album.
Yeah.
Ask them. They frequently do like, hey, ask us a question, like how you do on Instagram. So just ask them like how old are you? Like this, that. Like ask them anything you want, and they will respond to you. They're really nice group of guys. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and they will talk your ear off. Honestly,
they will if you let them. Mm-hmm. Don't let them.
Anyway, that's the end of this album review, and that's the end of this video, guys. I know this was a long one, so thank you for staying all the way towards the end. If you did,
yeah, thanks. Mm-hmm. We'll see you whenever we next see you.
Yep. Again, thank you for watching to the end of this video. Again, I know this was a long one, so we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Once again, thank you very much for watching to the very end of that video. I know the last couple of videos have been decently long, so we appreciate everybody who's watched to this point. Just a reminder, like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff that you need to do. Let us know let us know what other things you want us to do, other albums you might want us to review, other bands you might want us to look into. Yeah, not much else I can say. Stay safe. Stay in your homes. Coronavirus is getting serious, so bye, guys.